Shalom. I'm giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Hakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So I wanted to follow in the same spirit as the brothers explaining, dealing with the phase that we're entering into with traders and the mark of the beast, because that's what the spirit's been on as of late. And so, like yesterday, I started watching this TV show on Netflix. It's called The Terror. Really good show. And I was so into it. I said, okay, I'm gonna watch it when I wake up. So I was watching it, and it's about Englishmen, right? It's the 1800s. They're taking two ships. Their goal is to try to find a path between where they're at and Asia, but they have to go through the Arctic, right, with all the ice and stuff like that. And of course, things go south really fast. But it's just a lot you can learn from it in general. It shows you that back then, right, like these people, when they took those ships, they planned to be gone for years, right? I mean, they followed their orders to the T, and everybody on board is a volunteer. Nobody's forced, right? And they're planning to be gone for years, okay? So everything on those ships, they have provisions set up for years to come. They got all this entertainment. They got everything on there. It's actually pretty eye-opening to see. And, they deal with all kind of issues. They deal with plague, sickness, madness, right? Sedition, outside threats, everything you could think of. And on top of that, betrayal. So I got to the point where you actually see the traders in the mist. And I said, see, there's always a trader in the mist, right? And, what's he doing it for? Power, to be authority, to be the leader, to gather men unto himself, whatever it is, right? But then you find out that he was the trader on board. He was one of the only ones on board that isn't what he said he is. He infiltrated. So he didn't turn, into this backstabber. He was already as a false brethren on the ship in the first place. And then when the opportunity came, he did what he did. And I said, okay, so what I did was I stopped it now because I had to go out. And then while I was going out, I was watching Elder Pastor's lesson where he was playing a testimony of the brother in GMS who had his vision of the same thing, right? The mark of the beast, and a brother who was supposed to be a brother, turns out he had the chip, right? And he tried to play along with it, and it's really a betrayal towards Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. But the scriptures also talk about how it's going to be amongst us, so we have those conversations like the apostle was saying. You're going to have brothers who may go get the chip and still come to camp, right? And don't be surprised if your family, sells you out or whatever it is. And yeah, right? And I just wanted to follow in on those, sentiments because, we follow the spirit, and if this is what the spirit is showing, this is the phase we're entering into, then so be it. It's a good thing nonetheless, because we're one step out of here, but it means we're coming down to the wire. Luke 20:19, and the chief priests and the scribes the same hour sought to lay hands on him, and they feared the people, for they perceived that he had spoken his parable against them. And they watched him and sent forth spies, which should feign themselves just men, that they might take hold of his words, that so they might deliver him unto the power and authority of the governor. Now these were Israelites that sought to do this. They play in the role as brother, but because they want him out of the picture, they are playing the role, pretending and trying to get him sentenced to the powers that be, in this case, the Romans. And Yahweh Shai himself also said in Matthew 10, verse 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour where ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. So a part of this walk, we don't run from it, is betrayal, is being delivered up to the councils, to even be put to death. And the point I just wanted to stress is you have to also include those closest to you. That's what it's all about. That's what really, hurts the most, is going to be those who's close to you, brethren, even your family. As Yahweh Shai said, he's coming to divide the house, and then even family members are going to backstab each other, and that can also be you. So you can't bank your salvation off of your father, your mother, your wife, even your husband, if for the believing sisters, your son, your daughter. You can't put your faith and say, I'm Lord, I'm all down for you, and I'm willing to lose everything except this here. Because as a brother put it, what you are not willing to sacrifice will become the sacrifice. Okay? Like the apostles explained, anyone that you think of, right, who you probably would never expect, they could go out and get the chip. They could. And without even telling you, your own wife could do it. Your children can do it. And if you banked your salvation on the fact that they was all going to believe, and y'all was going to go into Jacob's trouble together, and y'all was going to hold it down by faith, if you banked your salvation on that, and then if that actually happens, you're going to lose it. You might lose it. You might end up taking the chip and break down because you never considered the possibility that your family member, your loved one, your close one, your son, your daughter, your father, your mother, your wife, or your husband would do that. And what we're here to tell you is that you are in the wrong mindset if you have that mentality, okay? Because the Lord can use that one that you're not willing to give up, and that one you're not willing to give up could be your life as a test, the hour of temptation. That could be the one thing you thought, okay, Lord, I'm prepared to lose all of this except this one thing. Well, that one thing, that's what the Lord gonna test you on. What, you gonna get mad? Dang, Lord, I was willing to give up everything, but that one, you couldn't just leave me that one. If you have that mentality, chances are you're gonna take that chip or you ain't gonna make it. Okay? Because, like I said, it could be your life. Maybe you willing to give up everything, but your life. Well, that could very well be what's gonna be brought up when for testing. When we get in the kingdom, okay? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right, when he says that he's going to be able to say that we are his people, as Zechariah 13:9 say, and I will bring the third part through the fire, the elect, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. This is what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. So the Most High wants to be able to, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, in the kingdom, okay, the elect, he's going to have the right to brag on you and say, these are my people, right? I put that brother through the fire, and he showed his faith towards me through the end, right? Just like, Abraham. In fact, Abraham's a good example because he waited for his son. He didn't get his son right away. Okay, he didn't get the son right away. He had him at what, 100 years old, 99 years old? I believe they're both 99, 100 years old. That's when Isaac was brought forth. So he finally got to see Isaac and raised him up to be a man. And while he was still in his youth, he said, go up and offer Isaac. See, and he did not waver. He didn't say, Lord, you had me go through all this and you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Just take him from me. He said, this is the commandment of the Lord. And that's why we're here today. Because he said, what? Now I know that you truly love me because you weren't willing to hold back the thing closest to you. So if you have anything on the line to say, Lord, I draw the line here, you are not of the elect. And yeah, and the Lord is not going to be able to vouch for you in that day. None of us wants to sacrifice the things, none of us wants to go be hurt. None of us wants to lose family members. None of us want. That's why we're telling them. We're telling them and preaching it till their heads fall off. And they're getting mad, you're getting upset because you're like, man, why won't they listen? Why won't they hear it? Then you have to accept that, okay, they could very well not make it. You don't know, right? None of us wants to go through that, but the fact of the matter is a possibility. And the Lord, in order for Him to say and brag on you in the kingdom, right, and vouch for you, say, that's my son right there. I can say with my elect for sure, I put them through the fire, and they was willing to give up all for me. He can't say that about you if you had one thing that you weren't willing to give up. He can't vouch for you then. You understand? So a lot of men, right, and women banking their salvation on another, somebody close, somebody loved one. Well, man, we was out there teaching for so long. I can't believe he go take the chip, and damn, man, now it just seemed like everything was worthless. Well, you didn't understand what you were involved in, and you truly don't love Yahweh Shemel Shah like you think you do, because you were saying, well, as long as my brother's in it, then I'm in it. The Lord can't vouch for you. The chances are you're not of the elect. So this is reality. All right, Second Corinthians 11, Paul speaking. Verse 24, of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods, once was I stoned, thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and day have I been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren. These guys are false brethren. We were just talking about that guy not that long ago, who called himself doing these documentaries. I think he calls it Enemies Within or something like that, the hidden enemy. But really, he is their hidden enemy, all right, because he's just a spy, right? He's a spy. His goal is to try to paint the Israelites as a hate group, right? I think he even said in his comment board, I got to hurry up and get all these videos out before this place fall. So his goal is to try to paint us as a hate group. These guys, he was in the part of the camps, they had him in leadership positions, all that, without vetting brothers. See, that's why you can't do that. So now he's behind the scenes trying to reveal secrets and try to slander the Israelites, right? So we saying, look, that's that scripture. You got false brethren, right? Even in this show, that's why this show is a good show, but it shows you everything. And man, you really learn a lot, from watching these people, right? It's a good show. I recommend. I'm definitely gonna finish it, but there's one more in Galatians. False brethren is a part of the ministry, and we don't run from it, because believe me, I wish it wasn't, but it is, right? And if this is the phase we're entering into, then so be it, because we know that's one step closer to getting out of here. The mark of the beast is around the corner, and I say be careful and mindful of your family members. Anybody that just comes out of the blue all of a sudden and wants to know about the doctrine, just keep it solely scriptural, right? Don't try to go too carnal with it. Yeah, white man, the devil, right? The Jews, this, right? Just keep it scriptural, because these people can be set in the snare, right? Galatians 2 and 4. And because of that, because of false brethren unawares brought in. So they're brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahushua Mashiach, that they might bring us into bondage. So the point is, there is false brethren amongst the camps. A lot of people are going to take that chip. A lot of people aren't fully rooted. That's why you got to make sure within yourself you are fully rooted in this, right? And that you are willing to go through it all to see to the end. And it's reality, man. And this is the spirit that's being brought forth, and I wanted to definitely hit that home, because having talked with my family over the past few days, I realized it again. Okay, especially the women in your family. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't really believe. They don't value anything you say. They don't think anything you say have anything of value, right? They just believe you're just talking, and in your mind you're thinking like, okay, you're gonna see when all hell breaks loose. But and then they might turn around. But there's a chance that they could just still side with Esau, Edom, and they really just think that according to the scriptures and everything you're saying is wrong, and they're gonna always side with the system. So you got to be prepared as well to say, okay, maybe they won't humble down. It is what it is. Hell, they might be the ones that try to turn you in. My son's an Israelite, right? My husband's an Israelite, right? And you know, it happens, man. When people are faced with adversity, when they're actually faced of losing their job or whatever it is, anything to remain that comfort, they will give up. They'll give you up. And Esau knows that. That's why fear is his greatest weapon, along with deception. You know, just look at the what happened in the pandemic. That's how Esau Edom get down. Okay, so just follow in the same spirit. Is telling you we're all linked, thinking the same things. That's how the spirit wants it to be brought out. So take heed to the warning. Okay, this is the time that we're shifting into. Be mindful, be circumspect, and I'm telling you, if you have that mindset that you are banking your salvation on trying to give up everything other than this one thing, right? You are setting yourself up for failure. You had to be prepared spiritually for any and all scenarios. Okay, this is real, right? And you really don't know how these people gonna move until they're actually brought in this situation. You really don't know how you gonna move. We could talk all the game we want. We could talk all the shit we want till we're actually faced with it. So you gotta ask yourself, are you really in it? Right? Scripture says, examine yourselves lest ye be reprobates. So with that, shalom.